Today we're going to work on creating your brand and style guide for your food blog. And I want you to know that this system is designed specifically to create a brand and style guide for a food blogger, but you can use this method in a lot of different scenarios. This is a great use case for how to use AI to create a context document. So the instructions, the assets that I'm telling you to create are very specific for this process. But if you get comfortable with this, take it and run, and you can make all different kind of context documents using this system. So what I've provided you in the PDF is a master prompt that's going to explain to the ChatGPT what we're going to do, which is we're going to give it 6 documents that are going to help it analyze our blog's voice and tone and style across our writing samples. Then it's going to ask us some clarifying questions to get a little bit more detailed about whatever responses I gave it. And these are going to be unique based off of the blog post examples you gave it and how you filled out your questionnaire and what's in your About Me page. After you've gone through a round or 2 of clarifying questions, it's going to spit out a new draft of a brand and style guide for you. You need to review it, edit it if you see anything that does not make sense. A lot of it should work really well, but once you have an output, you might realize, when I answered that question that way, that's how it interpreted it. So you might need to make some edits, and then you'll be off ready to test it. Okay, I'm going to walk you through how to do each one of these. So let's get to it. First thing we're going to do is create the example social media, example blog post, and example email. So I'm going to close this out. Here's my blog posts. I put a bunch in here already, so I don't want you're not going to have to watch me put in all of them. I tried to do there's 10 in here already, so this will actually be the 11th, but I would suggest you do at least 10 blog posts in here. And I've chosen blog posts that are a good representation of the different recipes on my site. Okay, so I have just copied over. You can just see I just highlighted all the text, hit copy, or Command C in my case on the Mac, and I'm going to paste it over. Well, that's not what I wanted. I didn't hit copy. Copy. Okay, so then I just pasted that over. Now I have this little disclaimer at the top that explains to the ChatGPT when it gets this document. These are examples of my blog. Ignore formatting or extra elements on the website, jump to buttons or modified dates. There are also images and email opt-ins you should ignore. I'm sharing these recipes as examples for tone and voice in my writing. So that just kind of explains, there's a bunch of other stuff on this page. Please ignore it. Now, this is a 200-page document, 220-page document. The ChatGPT is not going to want that in one conversation. I'll explain how that's going to work in a minute. Okay, so I have that. Now I'm going to go to my emails. And basically, same thing. I did the same thing. I just copied over the rough formatted text and images from my Kit account and left it that way. Same thing. I gave it a little bit of explanation at the top of that document. Social media, I just copied directly from my Instagram account and threw those in there. This one doesn't really need a formatting guide or there's not a bunch of other auxiliary things when you copy that over, so I didn't have to put that in there. Okay, so that is, these 3 documents are done. Now we did the About page, exact same way. So here's the About page, just copied over. There's a bunch of random extra stuff in there. That's fine. Don't worry about it. Okay, now we are going to look at the questionnaire. The questionnaire is here. This questionnaire is designed to help you think and help you clarify and define what kind of voice you have and the way you want your list or your readers to experience your blog. You have to verify your email account so that you get an automatic response for this. So when you fill it out, you are then going to get an email copy of your responses, and that's what you're going to copy over into the ChatGPT conversation. If you would prefer, you can hit this link at the top of the form. It's right here. And you could just fill it out manually. It says choose 3 of these words. You can just go ahead and do that. Just choose the 3 words you want. I've tried to leave a lot of room for you to add information. And at the bottom, if any things are spurred while you're going through these questions that isn't exactly addressed in the questionnaire, go ahead and add it here. Sometimes just going through trying to clarify things or respond to questions will make you think of another detail that would be good to add. So just make sure you add any extra information there. Okay, so once you send that off, you are going to get a response in an email. So here is our email. When you get it, make sure you view entire contents, right? So sometimes it's so long that sometimes it won't show up there unless you say view entire contents in the email. And then you have this ready to go to get copied over. Now we have all 6 documents. I have a link to this in the PDF, so you are just going to copy that over when it's time. Okay, let's head back to our ChatGPT. We're going to open a new conversation, and this is what you're going to put in first, this master prompt, right? So we're going to come to our master prompt. Here it is. Copy the whole thing over. These are the instructions to the ChatGPT about how this process is going to go. And you could probably just ask, we're going to make a brand and style guide. But it is such an open-ended kind of document to make that it could go in a million different directions. What's nice about giving it this really structured clarity is that you're making sure it asks for as much context as possible before it gives you a response. So now it wants the brand template. Now this one's here. Oh, nope, sorry, that's the questionnaire. Pause a minute. Here's the template. You will have this in the PDF, so that will be easier for you to copy and paste over. Okay, what's it going to ask for next? The 10 blog posts. Now, if I copy all of these blog posts over, it's not going to like it. I'm going to show you. Select all, copy. I'm going to try to paste it in there, and it's going to be mad. This is a lot of information for it to absorb in a conversation thread. Oh, interesting. I wonder if it is going to take it. It did take it. Okay. It took all of those recipes. Now, sometimes it does not work that way. And so I'm going to show you, if it's mad at you, you're going to come down to this plus button, right? And you're going to add a file. And then you will add, because I downloaded this document and put it on my desktop. And I'm just going to upload it that way. Now, in this case, for some reason, it was fine. So sometimes when there's way too much text in a conversation thread or one exchange back, it will be too much for it to read. And then other times, apparently, it's fine. So you can either upload the document and then move on, or you give it a try and see if it'll work. Okay. What is next? The social media captions. Stop, copy, paste, and then that would mean the email copy is next. Select all, copy, paste. Okay, last one is the questionnaire, which is here. Oh, that is not, yep, here we go. So I'm going to copy our questionnaire. Make sure you have the full contents of the questionnaire, not just part that shows up in the email. Okay, so now it's going to come up. It's been told to ask 5 to 10 clarifying questions based off of the information you gave it. It's scanning through and analyzing the contents of your blog post, your captions, and the questionnaire. And so what I'm going to do now is answer these questions, read through these questions, answer them the best I can, and then I will answer the questions the best I can. For me, I find it easiest to do this in another document. Okay, so these are the questions that it came up for me, and I can tell that they're pretty specific to the blog post and email copy I gave it to it, because I don't talk about Halloween much, but one of the emails I gave it was basically about how much I hate Halloween. And so you can hear that it's quoting from that. Some of the other things, beans make everything easier, right? So this is really brand specific to me. So I have no idea what this is going to look like for you. It's going to respond to the content you give it. And I've found for most of the clients I work with, this questionnaire element has been pretty good. And even when the questions it asks are weird, it helps clarify that is not how I want to come across. Or my client will start to understand, like, oh, maybe I gave it too much of this and not that. So it's a good check and balance of just what is the AI seeing, hearing, interpreting from all of the things you gave it. And it can be really helpful for us too, as a clarifying moment of being like, what can help me get to the next level of explaining to this tool my point of view. And so the humor one, I will say probably a little self-deprecating, and I will go into some more detail about what kind of humor I use. So I'm going to take a minute, answer these questions, and then throw it back in. Again, I find it easiest to put it in another document, because if I hit enter here in this field, so if I start to do the chat in here and then I accidentally hit enter, it's going to respond to only that segment I gave it. And I just want to finish this whole questionnaire before it talks back to me, before it responds to me. So it always wants to respond unless you tell it not to. And I just want to get through all of this and not have to worry about back and forth or getting derailed. So that's one of the things that's interesting about AI is, unless you give it really strict instructions to stay on one path, it can turn and go in different directions really quickly. It can be really great when you want to switch gears, but unless you've laid out the path, the roadmap ahead, it can get derailed. So right now I'm going to pause, fill this out, and then we'll go from there. Okay, I've gone through these questions, and I just wanted to point out that it says details versus brevity, and I made a clarification that I want the intros to be warm and conversational, and then the blog posts to be more explanatory and teacherly. So in this question or clarifying question segment of the process, you can get more detailed like that. You don't have to worry about every single format, because you'll likely create other documents that help explain the exact formation of a blog post, but you can explain that there's going to be scenarios you want to be more detailed and other scenarios where you want to be more conversational. So you can leave room for that range as necessary. So I'm going to copy my responses over and we're going to see what we get. Yeah, okay. It's calling me out. I didn't answer the last question because I just didn't know what to say. So I'm just going to say, don't worry about the last question. Go ahead and create a first draft of our brand and style guide in a Canvas document. Let's say Canvas. They don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, let's go. All right, because I had asked it to make sure that we were done with so in the master prompt, I had said, make sure that you get confirmation before diving in. And so that is what it's doing. And so we're going to wait for this to complete. Okay, so it's just completed this brand and style guide, and it is not short. So I'm going to come in here and edit it, and I'm going to read through it and see what feels accurate, what feels inaccurate, and make any edits in this Canvas document. Or again, we made it in a Canvas document, so I can come right in here and edit it. The conversation is here on the left. So if I wanted to make some wholesale changes, which I don't suggest at this point, changing your niche, but if I wanted to say, please remove all M dashes, I could do that right now. And actually, let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. Let's remove all M dashes from this document, period. And please add a note into the document that there should be no EM dashes in outputs. I don't know why I say EM, that never shows up. Okay. So now it should go through and take out all of those EM dashes. I think that's what they're called. Oh, so that did that. Yep, and it took them out. Okay, there's a lot of dashes, but those are a different kind of dash. Okay, so I'm going to take some time and read through this so you don't have to listen to me go through this for myself. I would say rarely have clients and me gone through this and had 0 things that should be changed, but a lot of times it's not a lot of editing that has to happen, or nothing seems wildly obvious at this point. You're going to read through it. If anything stands out to you, change it, delete it, remove it, and then test it. So I'm going to read through it, see if there's anything that stands out for me, and then I will point those out and see how I might change them. But okay, this sounds pretty good to me. I was having a hard time picking something out that I really thought I needed to be changed right now, just after I said that it usually needs some kind of edit. But this also might be because it's my ChatGPT and we've been working together. This tool and me have been working together for a long time. So I'm just going to go with it. And what I'm going to do here, so I'm in my chat window, right? So I can copy it and put it into a Word document or a Google Doc, because I always like to have things on Google Doc. Right now, share, I can also download. So right now I'm just going to download it as a Word document, and I'm going to put it here. And now I'm going to upload it to the project we made with our recipe testing one. So we came here, I'm going to close my ChatGPTs. This test recipe card is the one we're going to put it in here. And you can see that's our other reference document, which is our recipe formatting guide. I'm going to add the brand and style guide and see how that works. Okay, so now I'm in here, and if we come back to our conversation about peanut butter chickpea sandwich with hot honey, we're going to ask it to do something now that it has that new context document. Can you help me write an email that would introduce this recipe to my newsletter subscribers? Let's lean on the unusual but really exciting nature of this sandwich. Right, it has all of this context document now, right? But whenever you do prompt it, if you can help give it a little bit more information about where you want them to take this, that's going to make it a little bit better. So this is the email it spit out. It's not bad. I might go in and edit a few things, but it's a good starting point, right? And sometimes I think what's great about AI is it gives you something to respond to instead of staring at a blank page. So it can help just get something on there and be like, oh, I don't like that sentence, and you can respond to it. This is not bad. I'm sure I just read through it. I would maybe make some alterations to a few words here or there. But the more you work with this, the more it's going to adapt to your voice and tone. And I think we're off to a good start here. Again, my ChatGPT tool has been trained on me, so if you get slightly different outputs, don't immediately get frustrated. I want you to take a few times of testing it to see what you get out of it. So when we come back to our cycle here, you're going to do the brand and style guide, review it, edit it, test it. I suggest doing it at least 3 times to see how it's working. And then you can respond to that. So now you have reviewed, edited, and now tested your brand and style guide. In the last video, the last day of this course, I'm going to talk about iterating and how to think about refining context documents in the future, what other context documents you could create to power your workflows. But I really hope that this brand and style guide gets you off on a good foot. Know that this system can be adapted to create different context documents. You have to think about what you want in the end and then figure out what the AI would need to make that work really well. And this clarifying questions Q&A section with the ChatGPT is really important to make sure that you're both on the same page about what you want to get out of that context document. Okay, I'll see you in the next video.